And we are live. We want the gold, sucker. We want the gold, sucker. And we are live. Welcome everybody to this week's show. I'm your boy Ben Goosen, along with my boy Sage the Mug. What up, Sage?
Oh, what's good, Ben Goosen?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. Got a good show ahead of us today. Got NBA All-Star Weekend. So normally when we do the show, I'll put an NBA game on the background, not pay attention to it, check the score every couple minutes, see what's going down. For those of y'all who are listening to the audio podcast, we do the show on Thursdays for the most part, and we put them up over the weekend. So we appreciate you guys on the live stream and in general on the YouTube live stream, YouTube stream, and listening on the podcast. We certainly appreciate it. Give us some feedback. IRWP.us. Let's get into it because I've got some questions today. If you're all right with it, should we start off this week? Normally we start outside the ring, and it's somebody's birthday today. It's a wrestler's birthday today. His name's Rich Swann. We'll talk about him later. Got a nice little happy birthday gift.
Yeah, he did.
But I want to talk about the mixed match challenge because I have not watched a single match. And what I normally do is, for everyone listening, the stuff I don't watch, with the exception of, I believe, Rich Swann and Finn Balor, the stuff I don't watch, Sage the Mark texts me and says, hey, man, go watch this. The Cruiserweight tournament, the women's tournament, the Mae Young Classic, and I love it all. So I'll go back and watch the MMC. So if you want to start with it, let's get right into it. What's going on in the MMC world these days, and how's it going? I don't know if it's comedy or what it is. Fill me in. Catch me up.
Yeah, man. So, we briefly touched on this mixed match challenge. You know, you got your pairings of both the men's division and women's division going against each other. It's your normal intergender match. Just the men can't wrestle the women. The women can attack the men, but it's not the other way around. But so the first round is first round, but the first 4 weeks, I believe, are completed. I absolutely love it so far, man. I mean, we've had some pretty interesting matchups. You know, we had God, who do we have? Putting me on the spot there. We had Braun Strowman and
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. You know, they went up against I can't remember, man. I feel bad, bro.
Goldust? Mandy Rose, maybe?
Did they go up against Goldust and Mandy Rose? No,
was that
was the Usos and
Naomi
and then Naomi going. That was a pretty good match. Then we had who else do we have? The Miz and Asuka versus.
Are they out? Are they eliminated?
No, they're still in. So all the first round, they're still completing the first round. I think the first round was, I want to say it was last night, which was Rusev and Lana versus
Mandy Rose and Goldust.
No, it wasn't Mandy Rose and Goldust. It was
Shinsuke and Charlotte.
No, it wasn't.
Are they on a team? Is Shinsuke and I haven't watched any of it.
Shinsuke and Natalya were on a team. Bobby Roode and Charlotte were on another team. Man, you're gonna make me do like some actual live research here, son.
Well, no, I did. So when is what what's the payoff? Like what I think it's cool. I'm gonna go back because I know that they're uploading all of them to the WWE network, right?
Yeah, well, they are, but it looks like they're uploading every 4 episodes. So I don't believe these up. Last night was Lana Rusev and versus Bailey and um, Elias for the thing.
Oh,
And from my
nice.
understanding, I believe Lana pinned Bailey. I want to say.
Hey,
Yeah, so I mean, there's that payoff. I mean, to your credit, that's the thing. We don't know what if or if anything, will come out of the ending of it. I speculated last week that I thought that the winner of this one would probably go and fight Ronda Rousey and somebody else. But we probably won't know that until closer to the end of the tournament. It perplexes me that they don't have actual brackets, and I think that they did that strategically. But yeah, man,
yeah,
I mean,
whatever
there's
makes sense.
there's no, I
But
mean,
that's a
there's
good thing.
no
If you have brackets, then you could kind of pair it up, sort of pair it up, as in, oh well, there's obviously going to be heel versus face, heel versus face, heel versus face until the end, and it's heel versus face. So by not having brackets, you kind of don't know who's fighting who in the
That's
next
true,
round.
man. Yo, Russo, guy, Russo's a G, bro. He came
I,
to the ring in Lana's gear, bro.
I saw that. I saw
Oh
that on
my
Twitter. It was
god.
great.
Oh man, like it's pure fun, man. It's just like I said, man. It's a glorified house show. I mean, that's really all it is. It's a glorified house show. It's not meant to be taken seriously, but it's a lot of fun. You suspend belief for an hour, or not hour, but like 15, 20 minutes, as long as the match is, and
Yeah.
it's fun. It's like the buffer match that 205 needs to get into their shtick. And I think honestly, although I wish they would show it on the network, so I could see it in succession, I think the formula works. Like, you think about it, you've got 2 hours of SmackDown, um, and it's, for the most part, it's serious. You have maybe one comedy segment for 15 minutes, then you have an awesome main event, and then you need something to kind of just cool off your jets before taking off
Yeah.
again.
Relax a bit, have some fun with, but still be
Yeah.
entertained by.
And that's where you get the Mixed Max Challenge, man. And then from there, you get into to 205 Live, which, man, they're tearing it up, man. It's definitely a different feel
So
than the
let's get
old
into that.
205 Live.
Let's get into that. It's I don't think we talked about it last week, right? The
Oh, we did, about the change
the
in
changing of the
changing of the
but
guards. Yeah.
but now this week we have a full week's evidence that it's going to be more of a kind of NXT style wrestling show, and I think that that's great. I think that we hinted on it, and what we'd see was interesting about it last week.
You're crazy, man.
What?
How you gonna sit here and say it's great when you were the one who said it was a terrible idea? We need characters. We need to
Are you talking
invest
about? Are you talking about last week or for the past 6 months?
the past the past year, man.
Well, I agree, and I liked what Enzo was doing, and I thought it did need characters. And the biggest 205 live was when Enzo was running the show. They were main event and Raw, but over this past weekend, and I'll admit when I'm wrong. In this case, I think it's not that I'm right, not that I'm wrong. It's just a new direction. But 205 Live is a WWE Network program, a WWE Network TV show, if you will.
Mhm.
The Cruiserweight Classic is a WWE Network TV show. The UK title TV show, like those are all exclusives to the WWE Network. So I think that helps retention wrestling fans like myself, like yourself, the Mae Young Classic, all that stuff, because you tune into it to think, you know what, today I don't want to see the entertainment. I just want to watch good matches. I don't know this guy from this guy. I don't know what their move sets is, but I just want to see a good match. So I think the entertainment was great when they were really trying to push the cruiserweights on Raw and push the cruiserweight division on Raw. But after this week, it's seeming like the cruiserweight division will be a WWE network thing primarily that just happens to be on Raw rather than a cruiserweight division that's on Raw with the title never defended that happens to be on the network. Because, I mean, this week on Raw, even, unless I'm missing something, I don't think there was any cruiserweight action at all, right?
There wasn't. I mean, I only saw the Hulu cut, but I've heard from other podcasters that there wasn't any showing of it. So,
I mean, I could be completely wrong. Hit us up on Twitter if we are. I could be horribly wrong on that. But I think that it's going to be more of a WWE network thing that happens to be on Raw, which I'm cool with. Because those guys, everybody in that division now, especially now that Enzo's gone, they could go. And I think they're really hoping for that next star, and maybe Rey Mysterio will show up there or something, but who knows? So, I mean, I like what 205 Live has going on now that they're going to be more of a wrestling show. They're going to kind of be like an NXT, and I watch the takeovers. But that means if we're going to have, do you think if 205 Live now run by Triple H, do you think if it goes to that WWE network thing that happens to be on Raw, that they'll have 205 Live pay-per-views?
I don't think so, man. With the way that they're scaling back on pay-per-views and there are reports out there right now that the pay-per-views going forward are now going to be co-branded after WrestleMania.
No.
I doubt that.
Is that legit?
Yeah,
I haven't heard that. I've been out of it, out of the loop as of late.
Yeah, it's been making the rounds, man. I think then the next pay-per-view, the Money in the Bank, and we actually been hearing this for a couple months, but the Money in the Bank pay-per-view was advertised for both, and there was actually like graphic artwork to that effect, like in that local city wherever it's being held, that it was going to be some type of co-branded pay-per-view. So it looks like that, and I'm not surprised, man. I mean, we've already seen it. They're looking to do cutbacks here and there, and although I don't agree with the co-branded pay-per-view, I mean, this would be a way to kind of help save some money.
I don't give a fuck. That's my complete answer. Like, I like that there's only 4 co-branded pay-per-views, because then I get this. I go into SummerSlam, Survivor Series. I go into them thinking, oh, wait a minute. Oh, man. AJ Styles is going to be on this card, and Finn Balor is back with the club. Maybe they'll cross paths. I go into that with that anticipation, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe WWE should tell me, like, man, I don't give a fuck about you and your stupid podcast. Because more often than not, SmackDown and Raw superstars don't cross paths. So are you telling me that they're going to go from... Because let's throw out a number out there. I think it's safe to say that in a perfect world, WWE would have what they tried, a pay-per-view on the network every 2 weeks. 1 Raw, 1 SmackDown, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Every 2 weeks, twice a month. That's 24 pay-per-views a year. Are you saying they're going to go down to less than 12, which is, a little less than once a month, and then have co-branded pay-per-views, and then your big, obviously your big 4? But do you think they'll go down to like 8? Is that the plan?
I think we're going. So if last year we had like a total of, I want to say it was like maybe 15 or 16 total pay-per-views. So we're going to probably
we had a lot.
Yeah, because we had We literally
There
had
was a
one every
period there
month
where it was,
until we got to November, until we got to Survivor Series. And then we only had one pay-per-view right after Survivor Series, which was a SmackDown pay-per-view. And then we didn't have anything else till the Royal Rumble. So I want to say we had somewhere between 13 and 16 pay-per-views. I could be off
there
with
was
the
a lot.
take.
I remember there was a period where we were doing predictions like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2
But
weeks,
maybe
man.
that was the summer. Maybe that because maybe more people watched the network in the summer or something, or the viewership spikes. But yeah, 16 it sound like a 15, 16 sounds like a reasonable number.
Yeah, so if we'll just say like 15 because it's a round odd number. I would say we would probably go down to maybe 11 for the year. So we're cutting out, was that 4 pay-per-views?
Do you care about them being co-branded?
I do, because for the creative team gets in this mentality where it's just copy and paste, copy and paste.
Yeah, you have 4 weeks to book something. That's it.
Yeah,
Then
and
rinse and repeat.
you're kind of just giving them you you're kind of just giving them an opportunity to be lazy, in my opinion. And I would say that respectfully. I'm not, I can care less, but what they think about me or what they think about our podcast. But I mean, from a business perspective, I feel like it's just complete laziness to do that copy and paste method. And we're seeing that right now with the 2 pay-per-views. I mean, both of these pay-per-views are virtually identical in terms of the types of matches. I don't think between the 2 pay-per-views, I don't think I can name 2 singles matches that we're going to have in that entire thing.
You
I
remember
mean,
the Royal Rumble didn't? We talked about this a month ago. The Royal Rumble didn't have a lot of singles matches.
no, but the Royal Rumble I get just because the Royal Rumble itself, especially with us having 2, where the only room for singles is going to be for the titles, and that's it. So like I get that the Royal Rumble itself takes a long time, especially because the 2-minute timers aren't actually 2-minute timers.
But the Royal Rumble didn't have any singles matches.
Who did AJ fight? Oh,
Kevin Owens
yeah,
and
you're
Sami
right.
Zayn.
And Sami Zayn, and the tag teams, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It
So
didn't.
it's like they're going with these multi-man matches, and we'll get into our Raw and SmackDown review here in a second because I've got to ask, and I do want to talk about this, but let me know if we should get into this later. Both shows this week, you said a key word earlier, and that was identical. Both shows were all about, yeah, we got this main event for this pay-per-view coming up. Let's add somebody else. Let's switch it up. Raw added a participant, SmackDown added 2. So should we get into your thoughts on just adding a crap ton of people uh, what is essentially going to be a WrestleMania match? Or should we get into the Raw and SmackDown review first?
I mean, we could talk about it. I mean, what they're doing on the pay-per-views, these 2 pay-per-views, is really just protecting their assets for WrestleMania. If you have a multi-man match, then the chances of someone actually getting hurt or injured before the big pay-per-view significantly drops. The more people you add, the less each person actually has to work, and the less the opportunity for injury is. It's just the law of probability. So for that, I get they do it every year. Like every year, there's multi-man matches right before WrestleMania, for at the very least. But what I don't like, and this is the issue that I have, is that you do it for both brands. Now, when you go co-branded, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna have one entire card, 5 matches, all multi-man matches, just so that everybody gets a paycheck. Like, I don't agree with that, man. I don't. I Heck, if you're gonna do it that way, then give us a pay-per-view match on SmackDown.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it's
agree. I think you bring up a good point that,
the lower show. You're giving it away for free anyways. Just put it on SmackDown.
yeah, yeah, I think you bring up a great point that they're trying to protect the talent a little bit before WrestleMania. I liked Raw this week. I watched most of SmackDown this week, and what I saw was amazing. Let's get into Raw. What was your highlight? Tell me what's one sticking point. What stuck out to you on Raw?
Yeah, certainly. Real quick, Goose. What was your highlight for the Women's Royal Rumble? Number one highlight.
Number one highlight. I gotta say, seeing Vicky Guerrero coming back was pretty cool.
You damn troll, bro.
Nah, man, I used to like me some.
That
Vicky,
is your number one highlight for the entire Royal Rumble. Is Vicky Guerrero coming out and saying "excuse me"?
Yeah, she went over the top rope. So the reason it is because
troll,
well, no,
what up, Johnson?
I'm just going off of what we talked about the other week. So the reason I say that is because we talked about kind of was it an appropriate time for Rousey to come out during the ending? We talked about that. So I've had to reflect and think, okay, well, what moments did I really like? And we talked before, a couple weeks before, about are women really going to go over the top rope? And Vicky Guerrero isn't as young as half the chicks in there, but her coming out and just trolling the crowd and pissing them off and then getting eliminated real quick. I'd say that moment or seeing the Bellas team up. Those would probably be my top two moments.
Gotcha. Well, just doing a pulse check. I'll be asking you next week, so be prepared. Seems like you got a different answer every week. Hey man, so like on the rails, my number one highlight for the week on Raw was definitely Sasha Banks, man. We getting the tease again and again and again with her turning into the boss, man. And I'm absolutely loving it, man. They got me eating out of my hands with this, or eating out of their hands with this. I am so excited just to see the prospect of it, man. I thought that Bailey going over was the right move. Let Sasha get frustrated enough and let it show at the Elimination Chamber when she just tears things up, man. That was my number one highlight from Raw.
Oh, that was a hell of a match too. They had a great match. And Silky Mel Johnson, we got the shirt on the way. What hit you up? I got to figure out how to hit you up on YouTube for some details. Either I'll meet you at the barbershop.
Bruh, I asked that Silky Johnson what his size was, and he still hasn't responded. I asked him on Instagram. Yo, there's a time limit, man. I mean, I know you. I know Silky. You're a number one fan for 2017, bro. But you don't respond, bro. Just like milk gets spoiled, your expiration, your time's up, man. Hashtag your time's up. Oh, wait, what? Can't do that. My bad.
Now, Silky, we'll get you it. We're gonna get you a kid's large. We're gonna get you a kid's large. See if it fits you. It may not. Oh, his brother's putting stuff in the chat. I'm gonna have to meet him up at the barbershop. I need to get a haircut anyways.
Gotcha. I ordered that shirt today, man. It's on the way.
Yeah, we got you, Mel. We may even send you we got, I think, 3 designs. Is it 2 or 3 designs? We're kind of working on one official and then 2 designs we're working on. And you could just kind of pick your poison from there. Yeah, I thought the highlight of Raw was either the Bailey Sasha match, which is a great match, or Braun Strowman interrupting Elias. I love that. Don't tell me it got cut.
I did enjoy that. Yeah, no, it didn't get cut. That was pretty legit, bro. I did enjoy it. Didn't mark out as much, but I did definitely enjoy that piece of it, man. And it makes me wonder how the WrestleMania is gonna actually pan out. The one thing that I'm enjoying about Raw's build to WrestleMania is that with the Elimination Chamber, there's enough doubt that we could get swerved that Roman Reigns won't actually be the one facing Brock Lesnar. But my biggest fear is that it turns into a multi-man match for the title.
For Mania. Yeah. For Mania. So who do you think do you think it'll be Brock, Roman, and I guess Braun.
I call me crazy, man, but I honestly think that if nothing comes out of Finn Balor and The Miz, I honestly think, and I think we even talked about this a couple of weeks ago, we could have the Intercontinental belt versus the Universal belt on the line. But the problem with that is that if he wins, I have no doubt in my mind that in the 4-week build to WrestleMania, that someone else is going to sneak in to make it a triple threat for the belt. And then
Roman Reigns is fighting Brock Lesnar 100% at WrestleMania.
you know, I know that that's the winning theory. I'm just saying, don't be shocked or surprised if somebody else wins it other than Roman. And then in the 4-week period, 3 or 4 week period that build up to WrestleMania, that it becomes a multi-man match. That's how I would do it, man.
So what if WWE?
I mean, I wouldn't do it that way. I don't like it that way. I think that's what I think we're going to get a shock factor in this one, shock value on this one.
Do you think that they'll give you the shock factor and maybe have Bray Wyatt win it or something just completely out of the blue? But then Roman Reigns beats him on Raw for the number one contendership. Like there's a stipulation match on Raw in 2 or 3 weeks.
I could see something like that happening, man. I feel, I mean, that could very well happen. And it's just to troll the crowd. Yep. I mean, WWE, I mean, if there's one thing that WWE has proven to us in the last 2 years, is that they would rather stick it to the fans, the IWC fans, than to put on a quality show, bro. And I can't blame them, man, because we're the ones who are talking about it, and we're the ones that are brewing, and then we're the ones who are upset about it. But I would not be surprised if Roman does not walk out the Elimination Chamber as the one, and wouldn't be surprised if it's a multi-man match by Mania.
Sure, hope so. What else happened on Raw that you dug? And Mel Johnson, we did talk about that a little bit ago, and we'll get into it. Might as well get into it now. So guess who doesn't have a job on their birthday?
Hold on, man. Real quick, bro. We got to talk about this Asuka thing, bro.
All right. I'll let you kick this one off because I want to see where you're going with this.
So I'm a little perplexed, man. They're spotlighting Nia a little too much, and I'm thinking, man, one or two things is going to happen. Either Nia's legitimately going to beat Asuka, which will be a shock factor, or Asuka's going to challenge Charlotte for the belt, bruh.
And you think Rousey will?
I don't think Rousey's going to be anywhere involved. I think Nia will end up fighting
Alexa Bliss.
I can't even see Alexa coming out of the cage with the belt, bro.
So who would Nia fight? Because she's beating everybody but Alexa.
I don't know, man. Like roster. Who's all in the women's cage?
Sasha.
Okay.
Bailey.
Alexa. Mickey James.
Okay, so that's 4 more. Somebody from Absolution, right?
Absolution, Sonya Deville, and then Mandy Rose, right?
Yeah. 6. So okay. 6.
All right. So I'm thinking that Bailey wins the title. Bailey wins the title either Bailey or Sasha wins the title. One of those two wins the title. Alexa drops it. They carry it to WrestleMania. Those two will fight. I'm thinking that someone's going to get injured right before, like Nia just takes somebody out because she's upset that she lost to Asuka, forces her way into the cage. I I mean, that's how I'm seeing it, man. And I'm thinking that Asuka's gonna end up fighting, which is gonna be weird, but Asuka's gonna end up fighting Charlotte for the belt.
What if you mentioned earlier? You said, what if Nia beats Asuka? Right? What
Yeah.
if it's by? What if Nia beats Asuka? Maybe she beats up Asuka. Maybe she doesn't beat her. Maybe she throws her out the ring and puts her through a table. Because that'd be big for the women. They never get put through tables. And she just beats up Asuka bad. And then Nia, like you said, your theory, takes her spot in the Elimination Chamber.
Takes whose
and wins
spot?
the title. Mandy Rose, something
Mandy
like
Rose.
that.
Okay.
She takes somebody's spot, like on your theory, she takes somebody's spot in the Elimination Chamber, wins the title, then it ends up being Asuka, Nia for the title. Because they never really fought, and last time we've never seen Asuka get her ass kicked ever, like truly be put out on the mat. Or even if you think
true. We've seen a couple. That match with
no, I mean like a true ass whooping, like she gets put out and she's just beat up. She always ends up coming out on top. That's Asuka's thing.
Gotcha.
But she just takes a true. She loses to Nia Jax.
I think that's the
And
play,
maybe,
man. I literally think that that's the play. You're gonna have Asuka lose. I just
clean.
Yeah, you're gonna have Asuka lose clean, and it's not me marking out or anything like that. I literally think that this is going to be the shock value, and I don't see Asuka being long time on Raw. I think he put her on SmackDown, man, and maybe
see. And that's the thing is, Asuka, if she fights Charlotte, she has to go to SmackDown.
Yeah,
and I just think that.
But look, remember,
you don't
we're
need
having
that
co-branded
right
pay-per-views too, so really, I mean,
but you don't need Asuka to go to. She hasn't quote unquote cleared out the Raw Women's division yet.
Yeah, she
doesn't
She's
need
beating
to go
everybody on that roster. For the exception of Nia, she's beaten every woman on that roster.
She hasn't beaten Absolution.
She's beaten Mandy Rose and she's beaten Sonya Deville.
No, I want to say she just beat Sonya Deville at the NXT we went to last year.
Well, even if she didn't, they don't really count. They're not even up to that.
They're not really on her level. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Because Asuka is so light years ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Like in storyline mode.
But think about it. All the matchups on Raw, she's never had. She's never had she's never had Becky. She's never had Charlotte. She's never had she's had Carmella. She's never had Feel the Glow.
Yeah.
I mean, and these could be like 2 or 3 week builds, like easily per person. Like that's fresh. Like straight up fresh.
So do you think Ember Moon gets called up before Royal Rumble?
I don't know, man. I think you hold her until SummerSlam. She drops. I don't even know who she's fighting next, but I think you have her keep it until SummerSlam. Give the belt to Nikki Cross.
Right.
Even though I want to see her up like so bad. But pull her or have Nikki Cross win the belt and then bring her up in during SummerSlam weekend. It's too soon for her right now.
Yeah. She's got a couple more things before we want to see her on the main roster. Yeah. Well, let's get into SmackDown then. I watched SmackDown had some good quality matches this week. I'll admit, I tuned into SmackDown, and one thing I noticed was my boy Jinder wasn't on SmackDown. Talk about the ultimate drop off, and he
what?
No, he made the top 10, right? Was he on SmackDown? Did I miss something,
bruh? One of the best segments of the night.
I fast-forwarded through a few. I fast-forwarded through a few.
One of the best segments of the night. Bruh. It was one of the best segments of the night. Bruh. It was one of the best segments of the night. Bruh. It was one of the best segments of the night.
Segments? He didn't have a match? He went in the
No.
ring?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Bobby Roode called out Randy Orton because he was tired of Randy RKOing people out of nowhere and felt that it was disrespectful. Which, it was funny because we talked about this last week that like we don't know what the hell Randy Orton is doing
Yeah.
because one week he's going after Shinsuke, the next moment he's interfering at the end of a match or US title match. But yeah, we ended up finding out that he calls him out and they had this little standoff, and then all of a sudden the Maharaja comes down the ring, says he respects Randy, but the person who doesn't respect Randy is what's his name? Bobby Roode. And one thing led to another, and he laid both of them out. Yo, that was one of Jinder's better promos, bro. Like it was a really, really good promo. And but he
I missed
cleared
that.
both of them out. It was amazing. Hit that Colossus. Call it day, son.
Oh, I missed that completely. Well, good for Jinder. I'm glad to see he's doing big things.
Yeah, so
I
that's
thought
probably gonna be a triple threat.
I thought the Baron Corbin match was great versus Kevin Owens. There was two matches, and Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. I thought were
Yeah.
just the setups to them. So at first I thought, man, heel versus heel, that's weird. But the setups to them, I thought, okay, the Corbin Ziggler match isn't going to happen, and I'm okay with that. Maybe they do. I thought they were going to do a tag match, but man, I thought it was great. I said a couple months on the podcast, and I asked you, does Baron Corbin have the potential to be one of the all-time great big men? And I'm gonna say, man, that all-time greats, top 5 big men, top 10 big men. We'll say top 10. It's his to lose because he can go in the ring. He's for being not in the WWE for too long, he's looking great in the ring. And he put on a hell of a match with Kevin Owens. And it's tough to draw in general and get the crowd vested when it's heel versus heel because they don't know who to cheer for. That was a great match. And Ziggler versus Sammy, both great matches.
Yeah. I will say this, man. Corbin's great when he has someone who can go with him. And I thought this was more of a showing on Kevin Owens' part than it was on
Baron Corbin's.
on Baron Corbin's part. Like he literally showcased him like through and through the entire match. And I don't know, man. I'm starting. I mean, I like Baron Corbin. I'm a Baron Corbin fan, and he very much worked a face style, which is the first time I've actually seen it through his entire WWE career. And I've got to say, I think I'm much rather a face Baron Corbin than I do a heel Baron Corbin. I think that his comeuppance with him after getting beat up and railed on, and then just coming out of nowhere, breaking through with the deep six, and then just going into his movesets. I think that does wonders for his character, at least from a starting perspective. I think he has the potential of being a good face if they let it run. And it looks like they're doing the same thing with Ziggler as well. He was coming down the ring, starting out like heelish, with his whole intro and stuff, but he was very much working a face style of wrestling in the ring, and it's the Ziggler that I missed. So I mean, kudos, man. It's definitely going to be one hell of a pay-per-view. I mean, I'm not a fan of the multi-man matches, like the excessive multi-man matches, but I do have to say that is SmackDown's multi-man matches. I think I'm more excited for in general than I am the Raw elimination side.
Yeah, I agree. SmackDown. What else happened on SmackDown this week? I'm drawing blanks on SmackDown because those two really overshadowed how great the show was.
Charlotte and Sarah Logan, man. I know you didn't watch that match.
I didn't.
Man, Sarah Logan can go. I've been telling everybody this from the very beginning that she can go. If you let her wrestle and let her do her thing, she can go. She carried Charlotte that entire match. And if you go back, that's another, I'll make that point in just a second, but she can go, man. She can go, man. She's one of the strongest wrestlers on that roster, and I'm just so glad that they let her go. When Charlotte did the natural selection, bruh, she spiked, and it was amazing, man. It's just like it was like she was planking, man. I flipping marked out for her. I think I watched that like 5 or 6 times, just seeing her, get planked, man. I absolutely love it. The one thing that I felt Charlotte got exposed, which is the reason why I don't want to see a Charlotte Asuka match. I don't know what it is about Charlotte, man. It's kind of like how she's fallen into that Sasha Banks area where her wrestling just exuberated her not wanting to be there or not fully interested in being there. And I don't know if she's got maybe a nagging injury or what, but she completely fell apart on certain spots. And I know the fanboys are going to be like, well, that's Sarah Logan's fault. No, it wasn't. When you're positioned to do a belly to back suplex and you don't fully give weight, that's not on the person who's doing it. It's on the person who's going to receive the bump. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm hoping the match is as great as everybody's anticipating it to be, but in any event, hats off to Sarah Logan, who is a real life boyfriend and girlfriend with one of the members of War Machine, which I didn't know.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. And speaking of real life, Rich Swann got his release today on his birthday. Happy birthday, Rich Swann.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Rich, bruh.
Do your thing. I'll see you on the independent scene. I think the charges got dropped, and it was his wife, so give him credit. I'm glad he's able to do his own thing. Maybe he wasn't going to be used in the WWE anymore because of it, but who knows? So, hopefully we see him pop around in ROH because he's super talented. I think, it was tough what happened to him, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, you got to be smarter, man. I mean, I think that's the only criticism that we've all had is you have to be smarter, especially when it comes to domestic disputes. If you're a man, you already got 3 points against you. It's just the way it is. The law doesn't really. The law is prejudice when it comes to domestic disputes where the man is obviously bigger than the woman is. So you've got to be smarter. You just do de-escalate as much as possible. If you can't get into your own car because someone is telling you or fighting with you or jabbing at the mouth, bro, just call the police, man. Just call.
Yeah, easily.
Sometimes people just need to spend a night in jail to get their thoughts together, man. But it's not worth your career. It's not, man.
Oh yeah. Night in jail will easily tame you up. Very easily tame you up. So is there anything else? I mean, we covered Raw, SmackDown, women's thoughts, the 15-person elimination chamber. It's like Teddy Long's booking the next 2 pay-per-views, by the way.
Holla, holla, holla.
What else do we have to get into this week? I've kind of been shy on what's going on outside of the ring.
Emma made her debut at ROH, and I have got to say she looks fantastic in the ring, man. She just looks so happy to be free. Like,
wow.
I this is the Emma that we all wanted to see with the evil Emma gimmick, which it looks like she's keeping the evil Emma gimmick, but going under her real name, um, Tennille Dashwood. But yeah, man, she looks so happy in that ring. They're running a women's tournament right now for the belt. So kudos and good luck to her. If I'd have to hedge my bet, I'd probably say it'd be Brandy Rhodes versus Emma in the finals. I don't know.
Wow.
One thing I'll say, man, I'm probably gonna start watching ROH now.
Yeah, figuring out a way to watch it, especially since ROH and NJPW are still kind of trying to book that 10,000 man card, which is, from last I heard, looking like it may be Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega or something to that effect. Since I need to get caught up, to be honest with you, on the NJPW scene.
On Xbox, I think there's an app on Xbox that you can actually watch ROH for free. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to do some recon.
I'll get the details on that the next time we talk, but I'm almost positive. I heard I think I was watching some ROH promo and they had indicated that, yeah, if you have Xbox, you download I don't know, it was a Fight TV or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of Fight TV. But is that free? Because I want to say that same app also said you get all the UFC fights for free.
Yeah, I thought probably the UFC fights are probably the TV ones. I doubt it's the actual pay-per-view ones. Wouldn't make no sense considering that UFC has its own pay-per-view app itself. So I don't know. I'll test it out today. I mean, I'll test it out this weekend and see what the deal is, man. Hopefully they have like that stuff on demand and we can kind of check that out. Be nice. Maybe do like a 15-minute segment per week on ROH and NXT together or something like that and kind of go from there, man.
Yeah, the indie scene. So what else? What else is out there? I've been completely, after that car accident I mentioned to everybody, I've been car shopping and figuring out this who's going to pay who for what, all this crap going on. So I haven't had time to catch anything outside of Raw and SmackDown this week, and just Raw last week. Is there anything else outside going on outside the ring?
Not that I'm aware of. I did want to make a announcement of sorts. So on May 6th, I will be running my very first marathon on the behest of our IRWP. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. I'm going to be running, raising money here pretty soon for mental health illness causes and stuff. Seeing as though that's something that's near and dear to me, looking for a partner right now to kind of raise those funds for, but still going through a couple of charities and ended up scratching off 2 on my list, but I digress. We'll be setting that up probably sometime this week and then announcing more details if you guys want to help support and raise money for the cause. Again, the event's going to be on May 6th, but more details as we come closer to that date. But definitely appreciate any love and support that y'all can provide. Mental illness is it's a tough thing, especially for those who suffer from the affliction. It's very tough, but support, love, and not judging is definitely the key of helping get through those types of struggles. So I wanted to put that out there just to give you all the heads up. Love you guys. And then I also had something else I was going to announce. I'll probably remember next week.
You're going to remember as soon as we cut the show off. That's how it always works.
That's how it always works, man. I need to start documenting this stuff, man.
That's what I've had to do. Any show notes I have when I watch Raw, I always I put them on my phone and just think, oh man, and even when I write them down, I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to remember this by Thursday. Only Monday.
Oh, I remember, man. I might be jumping the gun for the ending, but yeah, man. Thoughts and prayers go out to the shooting victims. Is it Parkville or Parkwood or
Out in Florida, yeah.
Out in Florida,
It's
man.
horrible.
Yeah, it's I can't even imagine, you know. I can't. I mean, we both got kids, and us as parents' worst fear is something like that happening, especially when you can't be there to protect them. But yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to them. Been hearing some reports of been hearing some reports that news anchors or celebrities or people with blue check marks on their Twitter profile are making comments of the students who are, um, you know, broadcasting live, to kind of while the incident actually happened to get the word out, about what's happening, like people who are actually being shot at and things like that. All I gotta say for those people is fuck off, man.
Yeah.
Y'all are fucking trash, man. I apologize for using profanity, but first off, labeling them as Generation Z like it's some type of disease or something like that. It's just completely awful, uncalled for.
For those people who say that, it's a bunch of shit. In the Civil War, the battle at Normandy, all these crazy battles that have gone on in history, if any son of a bitch could have had a camera on him that could live stream to over 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people at that given time, you would do it. So get with the program, blue checkers. That's what we'll call them, the blue checkers.
I love that.
Get with the program. Stop hate and embrace. Right? Like, just because you don't get why they would do that, you can't say, man, these young people live stream on Facebook Live, YouTube, or they snap out what's going on while they're hidden in their rooms, being locked in safely by protocol by their teachers. That's documenting history. Like, there's a wild man out there doing bad stuff, and if something bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen regardless of your snap. Now, if somebody had the choice to save a life and they decided, no, let me Snapchat first, then yeah, that's a whole nother question. But the blue checkers don't think about that. The blue checkers make statements so people like you and me can talk about the blue checkers. So we're actually helping them by talking about it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mention no names for them. But I just hope for those blue checkers that that they go and see that Black Mirror episode, because that's gonna happen to them. I'm
Yeah,
just
no
saying.
kidding. Are you talking about liking pigs? Are you talking about
bro. No, not like it pigs, bro. There's an actual social media one about um basically like in life you can't get a car or get a job unless you have a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of likes.
Wait a minute. Is that I just started watching Black Mirror. I've only finished like 3 episodes, I think. Is it the one with the dude from Get Out? Did you see Get Out, by the way? You saw Get Out.
I haven't watched it yet, but
Okay.
no. The guy from Get Out is the second episode. I believe that's
yes, it is.
100 Mills.
You have to ride the bike for coins. Yeah.
No. This is I think it's in season. I want to say it's in season 3 that this episode is, man, and it's exactly like that, man. Like if you gossip and people like what you gossip about, your credit score goes up, your likes goes up, which means your credit score goes up.
Jeez.
It's just garbage, man. I hope life never actually truly gets like that, but I'm starting to see
it's not far from it.
Yeah, not far from it, man. And it's just I don't know, man. We could go on with the whole morality of this whole situation, but at the end of the day, man, we just need to respect one another. We need to come together in these times of need. Have real conversations about change and not just be one-sided about things. We need to hear each other out. I'm not trying to make a political statement or anything like that, but we need to hear each other out and stop worrying about party this and party that, but start worrying about people this and people that. Because at the end of the day, y'all put y'all's pants on the same way that I do, one leg at a time.
2 likes at a time. Oh, nope. So let's go ahead and do we have any shout outs that we got to get into this week?
Man, no, I didn't write anything down.
Well, but it was the usual crew that responded to us on Twitter this week.
Yeah.
So we just want to say we appreciate everybody listening to the show, just in general. You know, we always love you cats coming in, chiming in, tuning in. We had a hell of a show today. Busy week, sort of, in wrestling. I think that there was more to talk about than what actually went down. Rich Swan, we hope that, you know, you do your thing out on the indie scene. We know you'll be super talented. Maybe we'll see you out at the local ROH that comes down to town. My name's Ben Goosen. You can find me online at realbengoosen@gmail.com. Yeah, I threw out the real email address. Just type in Ben Goosen in Twitter. You'll find me too.
Now we're gonna get hacked, bro.
No, I am. That's the downside. Is I am, and then I'm gonna complain that I gave it out on our account.
IRWP.feedback@gmail.com.
Hit us up, and at the end of the day, like Sage said, peace, love, put others above yourself. If somebody's dramatic around you, write them off. You don't need to deal with that. Or just ask them, hey, what's going on? Because you never know what's going on in their day. Plus, tell them, hey, man, go watch wrestling. If you go watch wrestling, you're not going to have to deal with half the stuff you think you're going to have to deal with. Become a wrestling fan. Trust me, it's stressful enough. Roman Reigns is getting pushed too much. I'm your boy, Ben Goosen. That's the boy, Sage and Mark. Y'all, keep it real. Yo, thank you for listening today. It's your boy, Ben Goosen. Hey, visit us at IRWP.us. Go ahead and hit us up on the phone lines at 419-777-IRWP. Give us a call. We'll always pick up, or leave a voicemail. It will be played live on air. The thoughts today are that of the host and not of the IRWP as a whole. We certainly appreciate you. Again, at Real WrestleCast on Twitter, IRWP.us. Yay, visit https:/teespring.com/IRWP. Cop a shirt. It'll go straight to our funds. Appreciate you and keep it real.